Come, come. Gather round, children. Gather round for a story you've never heard before. The year was 1994. That January was cold, colder than most. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones and doesn't quite leave. Marv didn't mind it. Not really. He had his music. A brand new CD player was his Christmas gift to himself, and a long quiet walk to work each night through dimly lit streets. It helped. Kept his mind busy. Kept the silence away. He lived alone in a small top-floor flat overlooking a graveyard. Now before you start getting ideas, no, nothing strange had ever come from that place. No ghosts, no noises, nothing at all. Just people visiting the ones they'd lost. Marv didn't get any visitors. Not anymore. He left that part of his life behind years ago. London, family, friends, all of it. Now he found himself in Stoke-on-Trent. And if you've ever been there in January, well, let's just say the sun doesn't make much of an appearance. Cold, dark, fog rolling through the streets that belongs there. But for a long time, nothing ever happened on those walks. Until one night, something did. Night 1. Marv packed some ready-made sandwiches from the fridge and put it in his bag, ready for work. Not forgetting a CD player and headphones. Put on his favourite song, Turn Up the Night by Black Sabbath. Absolute mint song, said Marv as he pressed the play button on the CD player. Marv then picked up his bag, grabbed his keys, locked the door behind him, and set out for his nightly walk to work. The night was cold, cloudy, and dark, but didn't really bother Marv. He had his music to listen to whilst humming. On his way to work, he walks down several streets with houses and trees next to them. Your typical nightly street walkway with one or two cars passing through. Never many though, considering the lateness of the hour. Eventually, Marv had to take a short walk through a canal with an active lock in place, and Marv started to feel the temperature drop. Oof, it's freezing round here, Marv said while shivering. The temperature kept dropping, getting colder and colder, until Marv became concerned. Doesn't usually get this cold, does it? I know it's a cold night and all, but this is into minus temperature surely, Marv thought to himself while blowing on his hands to keep them warm. Whilst almost reaching the end of the canal near a road, he had an uneasy feeling that he was being watched and decided to stop. He pulled out his headphones and pressed pause on his CD player. He turned around and had a 360-degree look to see if anyone was watching him. No one appeared to be there, but he still felt uneasy. After a few seconds, he decided to have one last look around before continuing his walk. And there, standing perfectly still under a bridge by the canal, was a person watching him. Marv couldn't quite see what he looked like. It was too difficult to tell. He was definitely wearing a suit of some kind, he could make out, but ultimately was just standing there, watching him. Marv got a little spooked and decided to keep walking on his way to work, but quickly picked up the pace in the hope of that whatever he saw would not follow. Night 2. The next night, Marv was his usual self. Got ready for work, packed some sandwiches in his bag, grabbed his keys, went out the door, and locked it. Gosh, I hope that weird guy's in there again tonight. He just stood there, watching me. Bloody creep, Marv pondered to himself. Marv began walking to work whilst listening to his CD player, this time listening to the album Revenge by the band Kiss. Another classic band, said Marv happily. On the walk, Marv began approaching the canal, pulled off his headphones, press stop on the CD player and pause to see if anyone was there before entering the pathway. All clear, whispered Marv with relief. As he began to walk the pathway of the canal, it grew cold. Colder than usual again. It's just like before, this cold. It's going into the minus numbers again, he thought to himself. Marv left his CD player turned off for the duration of the walk and remained vigilant. There was a sudden onset of fog that entered the canal, coming towards Marv. Whoa, never seen active fog coming towards me before. That's weird, Marv thought to himself nervously. The fog was rather thick, but still transparent. Marv could still see his way through and continue to walk in the cold fog, slowly getting spooked. Well, at least that weird guy's not here again, Marv thought. Reminding himself of yesterday's events got him wondering, and he decided to have a look around whilst walking. And there, in the distance, once again, by the bridge, the man in the suit was watching him. This time, Marv was standing a bit closer to the bridge, but still couldn't see him too clearly due to the fog. Marv started to get really creeped out by this guy and yelled, "Are you okay? Can I help you with something, sir?" Marv yelled over to him. The suit figure remained still and silent. Marv took a step back and became spooked by his no reply, and decided to keep walking at a fast pace whilst looking back at the weird man every few seconds to make sure he wasn't being followed. Marv made it to the other end of the canal and took one final look back. Still standing there, silent, hadn't moved an inch. Gonna have to find a new route, I think. This guy does not like me, I can feel it, Marv said while slightly out of breath from walking fast. Night 3. Marv was not looking forward to his nightly walk to work this time. He didn't pack a lunch, nor did he take his CD player. He picked up his bag with very little in it and left his flat, suspecting the weird man to be there again. Gotta find a different route, gotta find a different way, thought Marv. Marv began his walk as usual to work, but with no music, no humming, and with a nervous look on his face, walking faster than usual this time. Marv didn't seem to notice that he wasn't listening to music either. He listened to every detail around him. Walking in scarcity, the sound of a car, the wind, every distant clank or clonk made him feel anxious. Marv now came towards the dreaded canal, where he saw the weird man watching him. He paused for a moment and thought to himself, "There must be another way around to get to work, surely. The canal can't be the only way." Marv started looking around to see if there was another route he could take to get to the other side and said, "Of course, the bridge. I can just go directly over the bridge," said Marv with a smile on his face. "Can't believe I never thought of that before. It may take a few minutes longer to get to work, sure, but worth avoiding that weird man. Wish I bought my CD player now." So Marv made the decision to go over the bridge and did so with a bit of a spring in his step, humming a song out of merriness as he was able to avoid the weird man. Marv approached the bridge. He remembered the weird man watching over him the last 2 nights was last seen directly under this bridge he was about to walk over. A twinge of fear sparked in Marv's face along with a gulp of nerves. Marv began to walk over the bridge. "All good so far," Marv whispered. He got to the midway point, now still very nervous. After a few seconds, he decided to sprint to the side of the bridge as fast as he could, as fast as an athlete. He was able to reach the other side and gave a heavy sigh. "Thank Christ," said Marv, almost in tears of relief and heavy breathing from the jolt run he just accomplished. I wonder if he's there now," said Marv, feeling more protected by being on top of the bridge. Marv's curiosity was clearly getting the better of him. and he decided to slowly approach the edge of the bridge. Slow baby steps can be heard as he approached the edge. Nerves struck up again within Marv, but he needed to know if he was there. He slowly peered his head around the corner of the bridge. Slowly, slowly, as quiet as a mouse. His heart began racing. He peeked one eye over the bridge, and then the second very slowly. But nothing. Nothing in sight of that weird Ah! Suddenly, as if from nowhere, there he was, standing behind him at the start of the bridge. Marv's starting to get really scared now. Starts shaking with fear and drops back to make some more distance. "Sir, what do you want? Why are you doing this?" Silence and still as stone once again was the man's reply, still tailored in his black suit. Marv still couldn't see his face though. The fog and dark night covered it. Marv thought to himself, "Maybe he's ill. Maybe he needs help." Sir, do you need help? Are you okay?" Marv decided to move a little closer. Maybe he really did need help. As Marv moved closer, the fog started to slowly clear. "Hey, why are you just standing there?" Marv looked at the man standing before him in fear. His face. "You have no face." Marv, confused and terrified, didn't know what to do or think. He did the only thing he could do. Protect himself. He shouted in terror, You stay away from me! Stay away!" The man, creature, monster that was standing before Marv had no facial features whatsoever. No eyebrows, no lips, no eyes, no mouth. A facial shape, sure, but nothing on it. "Please, just leave me alone. Get away from me," Marv said. Everything went silent. A deadly silence. A silent sound of intensity that even animals daren't make any noise. Suddenly, the weird creature sprinted forward and gave chase to Marv. Marv's reaction was sudden as well, and he started running in the other direction, shouting. The creature started to catch up to Marv. Marv, now in terror, yelled. As the creature sprinted, he started to morph into something else. His head split open in two, revealing a wide mouth with sharp teeth, claws as sharp as knives, and the creature made a massive screech of a noise. Marv was now running for his life. He was thinking of a way to get home where he might be safe. The creature suddenly tripped up on a log on the pathway. He was sprinting so fast that the creature dropped to the floor heavily and became dizzy. "This is my chance," Marv yelled in his head. Marv sprinted in the other direction as fast as he could, across the bridge, past multiple streets, looking for the shortest way home. He could hear the creature getting up and screeching to find him. Luckily, Marv now had some distance. "Gotta get home, gotta get home, gotta get home," he repeatedly said to himself in a panic. There, in the distance, was his home, the front door that leads to his top floor flat. He started to sprint with all his might. This was it, safety, he thought. As he reached the front door, panting after the fastest run he had ever done in his entire life, he said to himself, Okay, I made it. What do I need? What do I do? Keys. Where are my keys?" Marv searched his pockets, looking for his keys. His heart sank when he realized that they weren't there in his pocket, so he decided to check his bag. Maybe he put them in there, but found nothing. In a panic, Marv could only think of one thing he could do, and that was yell for help to the flats, and the hope that somebody was awake to open the door. Marv screamed with all his might. Before Marv could finish his word, the creature slammed its jaws hard on Marv's chest and began ripping at the rest of his body with its claws. All you could hear was the small screams let out by Marv slowly being devoured by a monster. Only a puddle of blood can be seen slowly seeping through the front door, inches away from safety. Poor Marv. No happy endings in my stories, I'm afraid.